UFC 308 is right around the corner, and the headliners Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway are itching to step into the cage to settle things for the featherweight title. In a pre-fight interview moderated by Brendan Fitzgerald, featherweight stars went off on each other. "You already know how it feels to bounce back," Ilia said. "You already have 7 professional defeats. I have 0, so you're going to do it once again really well. I don't have any doubts about that. You're a great example of that." Holloway replied with, "I took a lot of people's donuts, bro. I hope you like churros because you're about to get one come October 26th, buddy." Topuria dismissed Holloway and claimed he will become the first person to knock out the former featherweight champion, whose only stoppage loss came by submission to Dustin Poirier at UFC 143 in 2012. "The only thing I'm gonna do is take your lights out and party with all my people, all my team. That's what I'm going to do," Topuria said, and still, this is what's going to happen. Topuria revealed that his confidence stems from studying the division's legends, like Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. He proved his dominance at UFC 298, where he knocked out Volk in the second round. "I challenge you to have that exchange in the first 10 seconds of the fight, and you will see what's going to happen. When you face a fighter like me inside the octagon, who brings that technique and that power, you can't do that. I'm gonna take your head off if you do that." Holloway laughed at the challenge and said Topuria wouldn't do it because he gets tired quickly. The recurring response from Blessed was to express his excitement for fight night while repeating, "We'll see," and "We're going to find out," in rebuttal to Topuria's bold opinions. Who do you think comes out victorious in this clash? Leave your comments below. Former UFC middleweight champ Sean Strickland slams Merab Dvalishvili's newfound social media stardom since claiming the bantamweight title. Since snatching the belt from O'Malley, Merab has been relentless on social media, posting skits, taking jabs at top UFC contenders, and flaunting his wild celebrations after becoming champion. In a recent tweet, Strickland made his case for Dvalishvili as the UFC's new cringe king. Y'all ever seen Merab's IG? This man might beat Henry with being the king of cringe. Every time I see him, he has some OnlyFans hoe with him holding a camera. Bro, why? That ain't the way to get famous, my man, LOL. Then a fan responded with, "But it kind of worked for him, no? That's the only reason he is where he is in my opinion." To which Sean replied with, "What? He had been next in line for a while. He just wanted to wait out of respect for Aljo. These hoes didn't get him a title shot LMAO." After a victory over Paulo Costa at UFC 302, Strickland is likely headed for a high-stakes rematch with middleweight champ Dricus du Plessis to kick off 2025. Meanwhile, Merab is poised to defend his bantamweight title against the undefeated Umar Nurmagomedov. Though Dvalishvili has become one of the most entertaining follows on social media, Strickland seems unimpressed, labeling him the UFC's latest cringe king as he claims the spotlight. What do you think? Are you a fan of Merab's social media persona, or do you agree with Strickland? And is the Georgian champion actually cringe? Leave your comments below. Nate Diaz is on board with the idea of a BMF title tournament, but he has some reservations about the participants. In a recent SiriusXM interview, Dustin Poirier expressed excitement for a one-night tournament featuring past foes like Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, and current champion Max Holloway. While Diaz agrees that Holloway and Hooker deserve their spots, he made it clear in an Instagram story that he doesn't believe Dustin or Justin should be included. "Dana White, Dan, and Max are eligible for my belt, but get the other 2 nerds out of there. They don't fit the description," Diaz wrote. White was asked about the concept following Tuesday's Dana White Contender Series, and the UFC CEO thought it was intriguing. "Sounds fun," Dana said. "Never thought about it, but yeah, I love it." Since fighting out his UFC contract, Diaz has competed twice in the boxing ring, losing a decision to Jake Paul in August 2023 and defeating Jorge Masvidal via majority decision in July. Diaz and Masvidal battled for the inaugural BMF title in November 2019 in the main event of UFC 244, where Masvidal earned the win via doctor stoppage TKO. Are you excited about the possibility of seeing Nate Diaz back in action for a shot at the BMF title? Diaz has always been known for his fearless fighting style and relentless spirit, and a tournament for this bad mofo belt could bring him back into the spotlight. With the recent discussions around a one-night tournament featuring stars like Max Holloway and Dan Hooker, it raises the stakes even higher. But what do you think? Should Nate Diaz make his comeback in this high-profile event? Would you love to see him face off against some of the toughest fighters in the division again? Share your thoughts on whether you think Nate deserves a spot in this tournament and who you'd like to see him go up against. Your opinion matters. Let's hear it. Conor McGregor reveals that some names are being discussed for UFC return after Michael Chandler booking falls apart. The former featherweight and lightweight champion was all set to face Michael Chandler in the main event of UFC 303, a long-awaited clash after they coached opposing teams on The Ultimate Fighter. However, just weeks before the fight, Conor McGregor had to withdraw due to a broken toe. Following his injury, McGregor aimed for a showdown with Chandler in December. Initially, Iron expressed interest in fighting at UFC 310, but quickly shifted gears. Now, Chandler is lined up to take on Charles Oliveira at UFC 309 next month in New York City, leaving McGregor without an opponent. Speaking in a recent interview with the Schmo, Conor McGregor discussed Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. There, the Irishman admitted that he would still love to face Iron in his return to the cage. However, McGregor also revealed that the UFC has discussed other names with him for his 2025 comeback. We're looking for the date. Conor McGregor responded when asked about his UFC return. "I'd like to square it away with Michael Chandler first. You know, I'd really like to get Chandler in. We've had our beef and it's not settled, but now he has a match scheduled." He continued, "I would like to fight before he's recovered after fighting Oliveira. There are a few names in line at the moment. There's a few names being discussed." Renato Moicano discovers unquote unbelievable hole in Jose Aldo's game after Mario Bautista loss. In 2019, Moicano was fighting a much better version of the Brazilian legend, and a victory could have helped him secure a title shot. However, he got finished in a devastating fashion. After UFC 307, Moicano believes he should have held Aldo against the cage as well, but admitted that he wasn't aware of the strategy. "I'm so mad that I lost to Jose Aldo because if I knew that he could not escape to the cage, I would do the same thing. Because when I was supposed to fight Aldo, I said, okay, I'm not taking this mofo down because he has a 100%, 90% takedown defense ratio, but he cannot escape the cage." Unbelievable, because Mario Bautista is not strong. He doesn't look strong. Once you beat a guy like Jose Aldo, remember Merab or Volkanovski, everybody was talking shit about the performance back in the day. Nobody cares anymore. Everybody say he beat Aldo, and I think it's going to be exactly the same. People forget. Moicano disagreed with Gilbert Burns, who believed that Aldo was robbed at UFC 307. However, he also sees several positives for Bautista, expressing confidence that the American bantamweight contender still has the potential to turn his career around for the better. Do you think Aldo was robbed against Bautista? Should he retire or try to get one last W? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.